What's up, guys? Jacob Burns here. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about the event I played in this last weekend. It was a 2-round C tier in Kearney, Nebraska at Cotton Mill Park called the King of the Mill, number 2 or number 3, I can't remember exactly what number. But I participated in that event, and this is kind of my first tournament of the year. It's at my home course, and it went pretty well, I'd say. I'm making this video to kind of talk about it and recap some things that I want to talk about that I really don't feel like writing out because it's a whole lot of words. But if you're this far in the video, I'm going to get started on talking about it. So, with the first round, I shot an 874 rated round. Probably one of the weirdest rounds of Cotton Mill I've played in probably at least a year. This 874 rated round consisted of 2 birdies, which were pretty solid, a good amount of missed putts for birdie, and some decent up and downs for par. And then I had 5 holes. Those 5 holes consisted of a quad bogey, I think 2 triples, a double, and a single bogey, adding up to 13 bogey strokes. Just insane how many strokes I took in those 5 holes. But after all, at the end, I ended up at 11 over par, and that consisted of an 874 rated round. And I guess I should talk about one of the biggest things that came into my mind when doing this and participating in this really bad round was kind of some mental lapses. I did get razzed on a hole, but I really won't discuss too much into that. It's more how I played at the start. My first hole, hole 3, I took a 7. I went double OB. It really wasn't a whole lot of a mental thing there. It was just kind of a bad shot, a really aggressive run into a missed putt for a 6 and taking a 7. The second blemish of the round being just a single bogey. I played the hole pretty well. I just ended up throwing too far of an upshot, and it ended up in a bogey 4 on a pretty hard par 3, so I wasn't too disappointed with I think it's my first, that next hole after the single OB, I birdied, and then I had a putt for a birdie, missed it, took a par on a pretty easy hole. After that, I think hole 10, I did pretty solid on. I ended up with a 4. It was like kind of a scramble 4, which I was pretty impressed with. Hole 11, that's my double bogey. I will kind of talk about the razzing just a little bit. I threw a pretty bad tee shot. I threw a pretty bad upshot. It was like a forehand chip through the wood through this tiny gap, and I had this 30-footer. I was trying to go for a putt, and some stuff happened. I won't get into it, and I ended up taking a 5 through a 3-putt, which is unfortunate, but that kind of stuff just happens. What now happened on the next hole, I took a 7 on a 170-foot par 3. Really technical shot. It is certainly possible to take a 7 even without being frustrated, just from being in the woods and stuff, but it's something I could have managed, and I really wasn't handling my emotions too well, and threw a bunch of errant shots. I was right side in the rough to start off the tee, which I feel like if I executed that tee shot pretty well, I would have been fine going forward, but I instead decided to let my emotions kind of take over, and it resulted in me throwing about 4 bad shots and then having a putt roll away, and some other stuff happened, and it ended up with me taking a 7. Moving on to the next 3 holes, I think I went par, birdie on the next 2, and then hole 15 came up. Hole 15 being it's more of a tricky tee shot than anything. There's rough on the right and left. It's kind of a tight tunnel, and then it opens up, and then it gets into a tight tunnel. It's uphill with a tree in the middle. I took a 7 on that hole. I hit the first tree off the tee, ended up 200 feet, and then left of the fairway, I did throw this like grenade, or this tomahawk with my zone. Ended up on the left side of the fairway, had a really hard shot, threw up, got into the middle of the bottleneck. Either way, ended up with a 7. Wasn't a great showing, and yeah, that basically ended my round. Going back and around hole 1 and 2, I took pars on, and it was pretty simple after that. I really just had 5 holes that I had struggles with. With the second round, I ended up shooting a 1001 rated round to bring my average back to 938. Pretty impressed with that, and really everything that happened with the mental lapse in the first round, I was just so motivated and pushed because this is my home course. I've been able to shoot a 10 under round out here, which is just insane. Probably the best round of my life. It would be close to about a 1060 rated round, and I didn't do that during the tournament, obviously, but still, I did what I could. I did take a bogey. It was on hole 8, that really hard par 3 that I bogeyed earlier in the round, or earlier in the tournament, and I wasn't too upset about it because I knew that there's a lot of strokes to gain and that I just had to be aggressive, and not necessarily aggressive in all sorts of ways, but tee shots, I was trying to be pretty aggressive, as well as trying to get up and down from spots I shouldn't be getting up and down from, or like giving myself at least a look to try and get up and down on the par 4s. But I played pretty well. I kept to my senses. I knew what was going into, or how things were going, and I knew that I was going to be able to shoot this 1000 rated round, and I was going to be able to push up the leaderboards. After the first round, I was, I think, tied for second to last, which is 10th, because there wasn't a whole lot of people signed up. But regardless, I managed to finish up in third, a stroke behind second. Person in first place I got to play with on the first round. He played very incredibly, averaged, I think, like 986, shots like 4, 5, 6 under par, something like that. Just incredible showing from him, and I can't wait to compete with him at the next tournament. But yeah, this was just kind of a weird tournament for me, and I'm looking forward to calling that 874 rated round my worst round of the year, and hopefully it holds true to that. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about what was going on during the rounds and kind of my understanding of the tournament. The first round I couldn't putt worth a crap. Second round I was doing pretty solid. I found a way to bring it back, and I'm pretty impressed with how I made that comeback despite that. Feels like every single time I play this course during a tournament, I do really poorly the first round just because I overthink and I'm pretty nervous going into it, as well as soon as I make a mistake, I get really frustrated with myself because I know I can play that course really well. But the second round, I always find a way to capitalize and manage my emotions and bring it back. So I'm happy I got to show off kind of what's to come in this season, and I am really appreciative of you guys all watching this, if you are still watching this, and listening to kind of my ideas and thoughts throughout the tournament. I don't really plan on doing this style of thought process for the future. In the future, speaking of, I have a tournament next weekend, the weekend after, I'm more than likely going to do 1 or 2 videos regarding that. It'll be more than likely a YouTube video, but I'm going to try and talk about the tournament and the holes and kind of go through like a practice round or like a preview of the tournament and kind of give my understanding on holes, what my shot ideas are going to be, and then probably a small Facebook video to come after it with how I played, kind of like this one, but a little bit shorter, with how I played and my thoughts on the course and how the tournament ran and everything else regarding tournament stuff. But I think I should leave it at that. This is kind of a longer video of me rambling about my issues and good sides to the tournament. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and take care. Thanks for watching.